I think when I was first introduced to internal family systems, I got this really weird taste in my mouth. Like they started talking about people in parts. Like you have this manager part, you have this firefighter part. I'm like, what we have like multiple souls or something? Like, what's going on here? And so I was just like, I took one look at it and basically just put it on the back burner because I thought it was weird. What was your introduction to it?
I'm guessing you probably read like No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. Yeah, honestly, I was like, this is weird. Like the second part of the book, I was like, okay, we're talking about psychedelics. Like, what is going on here? The bigger kind of worldview of IFS, I thought was like, yeah, this is out there. And I think that's pretty specific maybe to Dick Schwartz and his personal worldview. It was like, yeah, I don't jive with that. But encountering Dr. Peter Malinowski, Jerry Creets, where they were really kind of saying, hey, this is in practicality, like very useful and fruitful. And yeah, it has to be baptized. Like we have to kind of bring this into a Catholic worldview. And they've done amazing things with that. I loved Litanies of the Heart by Dr. Jerry Creet. And I think what I found is I loved how Jerry Creet focused less on, like he doesn't even, I don't remember him using even the terms like IFS, IFS, IFS. They're just more on parts work. And I'm not as familiar with ego state therapy, but I did appreciate like, oh, we could do parts work without it being this very specific kind of Dick Schwartz approach. I feel like that took some pressure off me to say like, where is this going? Or what's the spirituality behind this type thing?
That was a similar thing for me too. I knew a little bit about Carl Jung and I'd studied Freud quite a bit. And so I knew that they already had these concepts of parts. Like Freud had this idea of subpersonalities, and then Jung has this idea of archetypes. So that suddenly started to click with me. I'm like, okay, I kind of get this. So what you're saying is there's these subsystems within the system that is us. They come online at different times. And to me, that's when the barriers kind of came down and I started realizing it's this whole layer of our human experience that we're not in tune with. But super important. Like it's not the high, lofty, like theological intellect, will, passions. That's maybe the most core part of us. And it's also not just the psychological part of us that's got like emotions, cognitions, neurons firing. Like it's much more the sense that there's a middle between that where all those things interact. And suddenly it just like popped out in vivid color to me that we really need a way of talking about the different subsystems within the human experience. So that was kind of my introduction to internal family systems.
That's awesome to hear. And I think when I've used it with clients, again, it started out as kind of like, what is this? But then in practicality, it was like, I just had my clients kind of using the language already. They'd say like, a part of me really wants this, or I notice this inner tension between this part of me and that part of me. So for anyone who's listening and, you know, is new to IFS or parts work, that really is the fundamental understanding of it, is that there's parts of us that carry different things. And so there's typically kind of break them down into kind of three main parts. There's protector parts, right? Or manager parts that help us do different things, right? You know, help you get your schoolwork done, or, you know, who you are at work, or manage your social relationships. They protect you. They might even be critical of you at times, right? To protect you. Then there's exile parts. Exiles are parts that are exiled. We don't want them around very often. And so they're pushed to the back, and they might really be carrying our shame or our fears or our insecurities, identity beliefs. They are not those things, but they carry those things for us. And so our other parts don't want them around very often.